guys, it is Rinne-Hatake here, back with another video, and today I got what if Goku was the legendary Super Saiyan one-shot remastered series, because I have done this before, but I will do a one-shot version, which would be different from both parts. Different from both parts. Or, yeah, different from the parts I did before. But with all that being said, let's finally continue this one scenario. So, in the age of 736, there was an abnormally strange child born with the mystical powers that were thought to be legend, or only legends, and that power would be known as the legendary Super Saiyan. No one has ever seen that power in a millennia, or many generations, basically. They've never seen it. It only comes every few generations. But this very generation, it was handed down to Son Goku, or otherwise known to the Saiyans as Kakarot, as he wasn't born in his normal spot, with his mother and father in their little house, but he was born actually in a palace. Like, he was placed in the palace where the elite were born. But Goku's parents weren't elite Saiyans. They were the lowest of the low-class warriors. As low-class warriors were treated like trash, mid-class Saiyans weren't treated as badly, but the elite class were known as the best of the best and have the best treatment. And Goku was receiving that treatment even though he wasn't born as an elite. As the scientists, or the people who are working with King Vegeta, basically helping the children that were in the castle, basically checking their power levels, seeing how they develop. That's basically what their role is, as they watch Goku's power level grow once he cries. Like, as Goku cries, sometimes Goku cries as a child, as he does, because that's what most children do. But his cries increase his power. His power emanates a green color, as when he cries, the whole building, the whole castle shakes and tremors at Goku's feet, as his power just shakes the whole castle. As the scientists who are watching this are just blown away by his magnificent strength, because with this child at their hands, with the right control of this child, they could overthrow Frieza, the Cold Emperor. The Emperor colder than King Cold, Frieza. They can overthrow him, that's what they thought, at least. At least that's what they thought, as they informed King Vegeta. But King Vegeta, or Vegeta, the most prideful of the Saiyans, who cared for his son to be the strongest and only strongest, was infuriated, or was angry. This kind of set off a few nerves in King Vegeta. Knowing that there's a low-class warrior stronger than his son made him angry. All reasoning was left him, as the only thing he knew now was to kill or exile this child. As Bardock, who heard the news that his son was gonna either be killed or exiled, tried to protest to the king, doing his absolute best, but to no avail, as now Goku was actually spared, not killed. He was spared due to plot. He was spared, but was exiled to a planet. And King Vegeta was willing to send him to Vampa, a planet that has basically no life on it, and is most likely where Goku would not survive. But Bardock, who moved very quickly, instantaneously, basically just found the ship Goku was on, and basically knocked out the guard who was setting coordinates to that ship, and instantly changed coordinates to a sector in the universe where there are no high power levels, and Goku could most likely survive there, doing the exact same thing he did in canon, but a little differently, because their son is basically getting exiled. And if the king found out what they were doing, it would be known as treason. I think that's the crime here. I think, yeah, that would be known as treason. So they did this in the cover of night, as Goku was sent flying off, as they had their words, or they sent their words to their son, just like they did in the Broly movie. As Bardock would say, putting his hand on the space pod, saying, "No matter what, Kakarot, live, survive. You have to, no matter what. We'll come for you." Escune cries and sobs in tears, saying, "Don't worry, son. We'll find you. We'll find you someday." I'm not gonna act like a girl for this. I'm sorry, I can't do girl voices. So yeah, I do apologize for that. I can't do a girl voice. It's kind of hard. But, with all that being said, let's continue. As, well, they send it flying. Send the space pod flying into space, as it flew heading towards its coordinates, planet Earth. Just like it did in canon. And, now we move back to Bardock, as not right after, but at least a couple days or so go by. Frieza starts raiding the planet, destroying it, killing off all the Saiyans, as Bardock makes his final stand, as that is also meaningless, as Frieza was way too powerful and so were his men. And that's how, well, Planet Vegeta was wiped out of existence. But few Saiyans do survive, and that had to be Raditz, Vegeta, Nappa, and some of Nappa's comrades. And if you're wondering if Broly's still in this, no. Actually, yes, he still will be in this, but his power level won't be as high. He'll most likely obtain Goku's power level, so he's kind of like the Goku here, but he wasn't sent or exiled. So yeah, he's not exiled. He just got a weak power level, and he died on the planet with the rest of the Saiyans, as it was a tragic loss. But we move on. As Goku has now landed on planet Earth, he maintains his same life, finding it a little harder to, well, coexist with humans because of his insane temper. Like, anything could make Goku angry. Just literally anything. Well, not really anything, but like, Goku's or patience is a lot weaker, or less. He basically has less patience because of his anger, or his power. His power basically feeds off anger, and it grows and grows in battle, so that's how I'm gonna put Goku here. As his base power level already is way above everyone else's, he's about 5,000. He's about the power level of 5,000, which is extremely high for anyone, really. But anyways, we continue. As Goku lives his normal life and is a lot stronger, so most of his opponents aren't even that difficult to fight. So we go through Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball pretty quickly. He basically takes out mostly everyone there. He takes them all out, becomes extremely overpowered. And I do tell you that he's not going with Chi-Chi this time around. He actually prefers Bulma. Should I give him Bulma? I was thinking, yeah, let's just say that. Goku has been out with Bulma a lot more, and has some strange feelings about Bulma that he's never thought of before. Since, he has been hanging out with her since day one of their journey, and everyone else has just been tagging along. He doesn't know if Bulma feels the same way, but we'll see in the future. As Goku lives his life out, using his ultimate Riz at this point. His Riz is insane. He's been rizzing everyone up unknowingly. Not everybody, but he rizzed up Chi-Chi unknowingly, because, Goku's kind of dense, so that's how it works. He's always going to stay dumb, because that's just how Goku is, but sometimes Goku can actually be smart. But enough of that. We move on to Dragon Ball Z, or at the tournaments, actually. We move on to the tournaments, as the tournaments were an easy wipeout for Goku. Goku wins the tournament he wins the tournament 2 times in a row. The first 2 Tenkaichi Budokais, he easily wipes out everyone else. And for the third one, when he grew up a little bit more, he easily wipes that out. And he basically asked out Bulma on the third Tenkaichi Budokai, since he's grown up a lot more and matured a lot more. So yeah, he asked Bulma out, and boom, he's in a relationship with Bulma. And Goku doesn't really have to work much because of Bulma's rich heritage, or just how rich she is. Working for Capsule Corp as a top scientist is a really good paying job. She basically owns the business with her dad. But anyways, we continue. As now Goku lives a happy life with Bulma until we have them reunite again in basically the Kame house. And if you're wondering about King Piccolo, he was an easy knockout too. Nothing really too good for Goku here, because Goku is basically One Punch Man at the very beginning, because no one is able to keep up with him. His strength and power overpower everybody else. So Kami's already shown Goku Kinkai, so Goku's already trained with Kinkai when he went to the third Tenkaichi Budokai he ever attended. So he was already extremely powerful then, knowing the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, before knowing about Raditz and the other Saiyans. So training for him isn't really necessary, but it's in his blood. But with all that the way, let's continue. As they do come by, Goku uses his Nimbus Cloud, carrying Bulma and his child with him, Gohan. As they fly over, as they land at Kame House, everyone was so shocked to see the message grow up, and everyone there was, happy to be reunited. As Chi-Chi is there, she would be somewhat jealous of Bulma, because she has, Goku, which is technically the Chad right now. He's the Chad of the Z Fighter so far. But anyways, we continue. As they were all happy to see him. They were all happy to see everyone, because everyone was doing extremely well. They were being, they're having their nice reunion, drinking and eating and just having a overall fun time. But somewhere else, Raditz was raining down hell on cities. He was burning cities with his ki blast, trying to find Goku. And he burned down the first city because he was pretty far away. The first thing he picked up was a city, which was not too high. He picked up the city and destroyed it, basically. But then he locked onto a massive power level right after. And it wasn't Piccolo. He didn't meet Piccolo this time around. This time around, his scouter finally sensed Goku. As when it did sense Goku, it broke. His scouter basically exploded on his face. As Raditz was like, ah, damn it. As Raditz would basically look at the direction that the scouter blew up at, saying, that's where he is. That's where Kakarot is. Giving a wicked smile as he flies off at that distance at insane high speeds. As Goku sensed him immediately, and so did the other Z Fighters because of his large ki. As Goku told everyone to step back, as Raditz showed up, as he landed on Kame House, saying, well, what do we have here, brother? As Goku widened his eyes, having the same conversation he did in canon with Raditz, and then Raditz actually tried to knee Goku in the gut, but Goku was unfazed and basically sucker punched Raditz right in his face. He just punched him square in his face, breaking Raditz's nose as Raditz would basically stumble back, holding his nose as he was bleeding, as he would say, you bat. But before he could finish that sentence, Goku would already be beating this man, kicked him right in the guts, sending him into the air, and started pummeling Raditz. Starts pummeling him with his fists, and starts throwing kicks and punches as Raditz was getting berated with attacks, and he couldn't even keep up. Goku was just not even trying and was beating this man. As Raditz was getting constantly beaten, he managed to distract Goku. Since Goku's kind of dumb, he would most likely fall for that, as Raditz would use one of the oldest tricks in the book, saying, "Look, over there!" As Goku looked over his shoulders, and Raditz sucker punched him and flew back down to Kame House, and swiped Gohan, and flew like he stole something. Yeah, he did steal something, but anyways, he flew as fast as he could, because he knew his brother would be angry, like angry, as this infuriated Goku. As Goku's power started rising, because he let his brother just take his son like that. So Goku would call the Nimbus Cloud and would fly as fast as he could to Raditz. And the Nimbus Cloud was going 100% speed. As Raditz was knocked out of the sky, because it wasn't because of Goku though, it was because of somebody else. A green man, Piccolo. Piccolo sensed Goku's power rising and a power level that was kind of weakening, that was heading straight towards a barren area. So he'd basically use his Namekian abilities to stretch his arm and slam him to the ground, making sure that the child wasn't extremely hurt. As well, Raditz basically crashes into the ground, trying to get up because he knows he's gonna absolutely get smacked around by Goku. As he looks for Goku, Goku wasn't there yet, it was just a Namekian. His Namekian's hands or arms go back to him. As he basically raises an eyebrow saying, "Who are you?" As, well, Piccolo would say, "The name's Piccolo, and I'm gonna rule this planet." As he chuckles saying, "If it wasn't for that damn Goku, I'd be ruling this planet already. But you look like another one. You look very similar to that guy. You look very similar to Goku." As he cracks his knuckles saying, "Let's have some fun, shall we?" As Goku finally arrives, finding Piccolo pummeling Raditz. As Goku would show up, basically stop the fight, and then just join Piccolo and start pounding his face. Like, start pounding Raditz's face. He basically molds his face with his fist, basically punching him so hard. His skull just starts caving in. Raditz starts getting bullied. He's crying and just begging for mercy at this point. And you're probably wondering why Goku's so ruthless. This is probably because of his anger. His anger at this moment is taking over, and his mind is completely blank. He's letting his rage take over, and letting himself go. Basically going all out, no holding back, just breaks Raditz bit by bit, until Raditz was completely unconscious. Like, he was unconscious before, but now he's completely unconscious. He's not moving a muscle. Goku put this man on a t-shirt, so he's done for. But anyways, we continue. Since Raditz's scouter got destroyed by Goku's immense power from afar, since he's pretty strong, Raditz actually didn't get to contact his comrades, Vegeta and Nappa. So they wouldn't know about the Dragon Balls or the Wish Orbs or the Namekian. They wouldn't know about that. So that means they'd take a longer time to go to Earth, which gives them way more than enough time to basically train. So this time around, Goku decided to bring Gohan along with him to Kami. As Kami basically took them to King Kai. Or yeah, took them to the other world where Goku and Gohan would run. But Goku would be insanely far ahead of Gohan, telling him to keep up. So this would basically encourage Gohan to go even faster, break his limits and run faster. But Goku did take a lot of convincing, or try to convince his wife, Bulma, to basically allow this to happen. As Bulma would just sigh, saying, "Alright, I'll let this slide this time." As Goku was extremely happy about that. So that's where we are now. As they were running as fast as they could through Snake Way, Goku would arrive there insanely quickly, breaking insane records. I'd say it'd take him 30 minutes. It would take him 30 minutes. But Gohan would take a lot longer, as, yeah, he was a lot slower than Goku, but managed to make it within at least a day. He made it within a day, barely within a day. So Gohan was extremely worn out from running all day, basically. But they began training, well, at least Gohan began training, basic training, basically. So he started with trying to chase the monkey, which took some time because he wasn't used to the 10 times gravity. But then he started chasing the monkey and finally caught the monkey. Right after, he had to smack a bug with a massive hammer or mallet and managed to do so. It took him a while though, but he managed to do so. As now Gohan was more faster and physically stronger because of this, well, seemingly pointless training. As he didn't see what the purpose of this training was, but he finally somewhat understands it now. He gotten a lot stronger, not just like, yeah, it is physically. He's gotten a lot stronger physically, but I don't think, yeah, he's just gotten a lot stronger physically. He understands now that it's not just pointless training, it's helping him grow physically. Now, he's trying to learn a mental training technique, some mental training technique that would help if they don't have, well, the area to train physically, they can train mentally in their heads. But anyways, we move. As, well, they try doing some more training. So Gohan basically tries to learn the Kaioken, which takes insane focus to actually use. So this is what Gohan spends his time on, and also the Spirit Bomb, which Goku already had mastered. But if I haven't covered Goku yet, it's because Goku was introduced to the Supreme Kai through King Kai. King Kai had connections and somehow convinced the Supreme Kai to basically show or come to his planet to show off one of his pupils. As the Supreme Kai saw Goku, he saw incredible potential and decided to take him in for training. As for Gohan, he has potential too, but he'll let King Kai train him for now because Gohan was far too young. But anyways, we continue. As Goku was training off in the other world, not in the other world, in the Supreme Kai's planet, training to become stronger. As his first bit of training was to learn some Kai techniques, like the Kai, like a teleportation technique, and some healing techniques actually, and a technique that can allow you to pause an opponent, basically moves like that, and possibly create things out of nothing. Basically, you can pull things out of thin air. That's what basically Goku's trying to learn. I've been saying basically a lot, but anyways, so Goku's been doing that for a long time. Well, not really a long time, but has been practicing and training his techniques, his new techniques. But on one occasion, Goku was getting frustrated over and over because he couldn't create a simple inanimate object like a simple cup. It took insane concentration for Goku, and his mind was all fuzzy, which irritated Goku. And since he couldn't do this, his energy was all over the place. He was exerting insane amounts of energy, and this just made Goku angry. As Goku would let out a furious rage, or just a furious roar, as his hair would spike up, as his eyes would turn orange-yellowish color, as an insane aura would come off Goku. As some some of Goku's aura would actually look somewhat greenish. As Goku has access to Ikari form, as the Kais were impressed, they've never seen this power before. It's so powerful and so strong. As Goku would continue to roar and rage, as his mind right now is completely blank, so he starts attacking things unknowingly. Let's start attacking Kibito, as Kibito automatically tries to block one of Goku's punches, but instantly gets knocked back. Goku's strength, speed, and power was way more enhanced, and Kibito didn't stand a chance, as Goku's rage allowed him to increase his power during battle to an even greater height, even greater than Super Saiyan at this point. His power level was above Super Saiyan, because his rage was building. Actually, no, not above Super Saiyan. His rage was just below Super Saiyan. I'd say about full power Frieza. As, he's not on the level of Super Saiyan just yet, but he's almost there. As his rage continues to build up, his power continues to grow and grow, as Kibito is struggling just to keep up with him. Somewhat struggling. But, his moves aren't as graceful as they used to be, so he was able to predict most of his moves, which made it somewhat easier to fight Goku, as Goku would easily get distracted, and even if it was bad, they were allowing him to grow stronger to see what Goku can truly do. As they allowed him to go even stronger than he was before, they knew it was time to stop Goku since it was getting dangerous, pretty dangerous for Goku to keep doing this. So, the Supreme Kai pulled out some insane moves. He started busting down some moves that Goku has never seen before. Since Goku is completely blinded by rage, since he can't create a simple inanimate object, and he's been building up some rage before, he wasn't able to let it all out against Raditz. This is somewhat some left behind built up and pent up rage. He's not able to go but anyways, so he's basically getting hit with some moves the Supreme Kai has never shown before. And it was, let's see. Yes, let's say the Supreme Kai for this what if created a special move combining gathering ki with a physical move like a punch. Gathering ki with his fist as it glue a surprising color, as it was basically like Jiren's punch from Dragon Ball Super that somewhat knocked Goku out because of its insane power and range. It can be used as a mid or short or long range attack. So as Goku was trying to see where King Kai, or not King Kai but Supreme Kai was, since he was moving in insane speeds, he wasn't basically having his guard up, which left him open from the front as Supreme Kai hit him with this what's it called again? Ki powered fist, punching him, sending Goku packing. And this singular attack managed to put Goku down. And since this ki was like highly concentrated to a single point, and it hit Goku's let's say pressure point, or a point where Goku could not recover from for the time being, he was knocked out. But it did take him a little while to heal, but he managed to recover and get back on track and actually made some inanimate objects. And yeah, if you're wondering why Goku got so angry after not creating some inanimate objects, it's just the way I'm gonna say plot. It was plot so I can show or demonstrate Goku's power with his legendary Super Saiyan. So far, he has not accessed legendary Super Saiyan, but it's for a simple reason, because he would automatically destroy everyone there, and there's no point making Goku overpowered if he already solos. Actually, there is, but there's no point making him overpoweredly strong from the very beginning, and all of his teachers just get killed by him. There's no point doing that, since Goku would just kill everybody there. He just kill the planet, and he'd end up dying, so yeah. But anyways, with all that out the way, let's continue. As Goku continues this training, creating more cooler and more useful inanimate objects like swords, weapons, stuff like that. And he even created that insane material that broke the Z sword. It wasn't as big as Supreme Kai's, but it was just a tiny cube. But it was very powerful in fights, since you can create it pretty easily since it was very small. It can be used as a projectile that Goku could throw insanely fast, and it would be pretty hard to catch this material since it was pretty small. But we continue. As more time goes by, everyone was training on Earth, the other world, Kami's place, and basically Goku's training at the Supreme Kai's world, right? Supreme Kai finally thought Goku was worthy enough to use the Z Sword as training. As he does so, Goku could see some insane improvements already with the Z Sword, as he got a lot stronger with the Z Sword and all that. But Vegeta decided to finally show up, and to be honest, Goku wasn't even allowed to go and fight. The Z Fighters plus Gohan were the only people allowed to go, because Goku would easily smack Vegeta and Nappa. And as the fight goes on, basically, so Vegeta goes up against everyone else with Nappa along with him, but it didn't end up as easily as he thought, as he and Nappa were packed up by Gohan. Gohan, using the Kaioken technique, packed him up easy. He needed help from Piccolo, but he packed them both up pretty easily, sending them back to sending them back to Frieza's planet. As Nappa, though, he ended up dying because of Vegeta, as he did in canon. But we continue, as he was sent packing, and he was sent back to Frieza's planet, and yeah. Vegeta ended up having to heal using the chambers, and when he found out that Frieza was finding some wish orbs he heard of, he went after Frieza again. Yeah, he went after Frieza. But we continue. As Goku was still training, because he loves to train, he got word from, or the Supreme Kai told him that one of the planets known as Namek will be in danger if they allow Frieza or Vegeta to collect the Dragon Balls. So Goku would solo this mission, going and using the Kai technique, teleporting there instantaneously and helping everyone out, defeating the Frieza soldiers pretty easily, and finding more Frieza's men, beating them, finding some Namekians and saving them, until the Ginyu Force showed up. The Ginyu Force was a bit of trouble, not for Goku, but for Vegeta, who found them first and started to pick a fight. Even with Vegeta's new power level, or power up, he wasn't able to stop them by himself. He wasn't able to stop the Ginyu Force. He was able to put up somewhat of a fight, but he lost to the orange-headed guy. Can't remember his name, but yeah, he lost to him because that guy was too powerful, sending Vegeta packing. So Vegeta was instantaneously knocked out. So yeah, as Goku finally arrived to see the battlefield, as Vegeta was laying on the floor, pretty much bloodied and beaten, as the Ginyu Force were laughing at his body, he came in and struck all of them down pretty easily. As Captain Ginyu was the only one left, Captain Ginyu decided to try the body exchange technique, which would have, made a pretty terrible exchange, if for not Goku's insane reaction time, as using the Kai technique, since he thought this was pretty dangerous, since he basically said body exchange technique or something like that, or change now. Goku didn't know what that means, so this could possibly mean he had to change bodies, powers, completely anything. So this was pure reaction time. He used the Kai technique, teleporting behind him, so Ginyu switched bodies with some random frog on the floor. And, he switched bodies, and Goku incinerated his real body, so he can't change back to his original body, and since most of the people there were already knocked out, he can't switch with them. So yeah, we move on from this. As Goku defeated the Ginyu Force pretty easily, it wasn't too hard, he managed to find Frieza, as Frieza was terrorizing citizens, laughing at their bodies. He found one of them to be the strongest, and started bullying him. As Goku watched the insane massacre, he got furious, he got enraged, since Goku just couldn't allow this any further. As he stopped, as Goku, or Nail was about to get the final blow, Goku stopped Frieza at the right moment, and basically sucker punched Frieza, sending him flying. As Frieza gets blown back, he gets infuriated, saying, "Who dare fights against me?" As basically he looks towards Goku, seeing that he was a Saiyan, as he chuckles, saying, "Oh my, oh my, oh my." So a monkey's still alive, he says. As Goku looks at him pretty annoyed, saying, I can't let you do this anymore. You've been taking innocent lives. I won't let you do this. As Goku's power gets shown, as his power alone is starting to make rubble rise from the ground, as Frieza was doing the exact same thing, saying, Oh, you foolish monkey, trying to rebel against your owner. I own your race. I killed your family. I killed your planet. Your race has been cut off from this world. So, why do you still fight? Why? As you know, Frieza was basically being hella racist, no cap. He was being hella racist. Goku just got insanely infuriated. But disclaimer, this was just part of the what if. Frieza is already racist. Please don't put a yellow check on this video, I beg. But anyways, we move. As you know, Frieza was being hella racist. Goku got angry. My boy Goku just activated his Ikari form. Just his eyes turned an orange yellowish color as his hair rose. As it basically looks like he was in Super Saiyan, but his hair hasn't changed color. As a greenish aura surrounded Goku, as he was now mad. As he would roar into the heavens, as his power basically made the earth or Namek start to crumble away, as the ground started to break apart. As Frieza would do the same thing, going into his final form, but then still getting mollywopped, as Goku would uppercut his chest, just aim a punch straight to his chest, as he would, or Frieza would spit out, or just cough out saliva and go, Ugh! As Goku would continue beating this man, punching him insanely hard over and over, as Goku's muscles began to grow and start to bulge out. His power level continued to grow, as Frieza just kept taking beatings upon beatings. As Frieza would back up, saying, You stupid monkey, how are you so strong? As he goes into his full power, final full power form, and would still get himself beat. As Goku's power level was way above him, as Goku just got more out of hand, starts pounding Frieza's face in, just breaking Frieza. As Frieza is just taking a beating, he wasn't even able to land a punch. He tried to. He landed a pretty clean shot in Goku's face. He punched Goku straight in his face, but it didn't do anything to Goku. As Goku gave him the look Hulk gave to Iron Man when he punched him in his face. And that's exactly what happened to Frieza. Frieza looked just like Iron Man for that second. He basically apologized in that second he punched Goku, as Goku would spit out a tooth or something and start pounding Frieza's face again over and over, just breaking Frieza. Limb from limb, Frieza was torn apart. As this time, the planet wasn't actually about to blow up because Frieza didn't blow it up. The planet wasn't actually going to blow up this time because there wasn't as much damage as there was before. But Goku's power was getting out of hand, and the Supreme Kai had to basically step in and stop Goku from rampaging and destroying the planet. And right after, they made some quick wishes to move the planet to a secretive location in Universe 7, which, well, the dragon was able to do, and also restore the youth of the Elder Namekian, which was restored, making him stronger again and making the Dragon Balls even more useful. And their final wish, to restore the planet to how it used to be before all of the damages. As that was done, they went back to train in the Supreme Kai world, but Goku, they went back to train in the Supreme Kai world, but Goku decided enough training for now. He had to head back to enough training for now. So he teleported right back to Earth and decided to spend some time with his family. Have some family time since he's been away for a while. But if you're wondering about Vegeta, Vegeta did manage to make it out alive because Goku spared him and decided to take him back to Earth. because he's still naive, so he thought Vegeta would be a very good training partner. So yeah, Vegeta and Goku began somewhat of a friendship, you could say, as they did start training together. But Vegeta was extremely weak, and Goku just flicked Vegeta, and Vegeta already took some insane damage. So that goes to show you the big difference. But anyways, we continue. As we move, as we move as we move on, basically Trunks came from the future and decided to tell Goku what was about to happen to him. But when he came to this timeline, he realized this was completely wrong. Everything in this timeline is wrong. Goku has some sort of insane ability. His father isn't with his mother. His mother was Bulma, but it seems that he went to a different timeline where everything was switched up. Goku went with Bulma. Goku has a strange ability. Vegeta is weaker than he was meant to be, and Gohan was never born with the right mother. Gohan was born from Bulma. And they just had another child, No, not Trunks. Actually, yes, they had another child. They called it Trunks. They called their other child Trunks, which was somewhat correct, since he was born around this time. But there was something wrong. His brother, or at least in this timeline, his brother was, well, Gohan, which was completely off. So Trunks was completely confused. He asked what was going on, like, how did this all happen? He asked so many questions. As he went up to Goku, as he basically talked this out with Goku, telling him he's from the future, having the somewhat same conversation, but Trunks did challenge him to a fight, since he wanted to see how strong Goku is even without the Super Saiyan ability that he had. As Trunks goes Super Saiyan, as Vegeta would widen his eyes, saying, "Impossible! A Super Saiyan? Not even Kakarot has achieved that yet." As Goku smiled, saying, "Super Saiyan, huh?" As Goku has been practicing and can go on command without being angry in his Ikari form, but is a little difficult to control. So just a little bit difficult to control, but he's able to do so. Going into his Ikari form, which surprised Trunks, because Goku's power, even without Super Saiyan, rivals or surpasses even his. As he would try to use his sword against Goku, Goku would not even use his finger to stop Trunks' sword. He'd use his pinky, just to add more disrespect to this fight. He used his pinky to stop all of his attacks. And Vegeta was shocked, so was Trunks. Everyone else was shocked to see Goku's power. But yeah. Then right after, Goku was told about the enemy that was coming up, and also was told about his heart virus disease, as Goku is really stupid, so he wouldn't really remember this. But, Bulma, on the other hand, who was supposed to be Trunks' mother, which he still somewhat is, well, he decides to, Bulma decides to keep a note of Goku's heart virus and take the medicine. So this disease that Goku somewhat has would go away, just in case Goku forgot to take the medicine. So she took some notes and basically hung it on the walls, or just somewhere in her lab, in her kitchen, basically in their house, so they would remember about Goku's heart virus. And they did, so Goku wouldn't have to deal with that later in the fight. But exactly the next time Trunks shows up, the enemy shows up as well. That being Android 19 and Android 20 and 19 show up and use Dr. Gero and Android 19. So yeah, after a long while of training before this all happened, everyone achieved their new powers, as Goku actually achieved Super Saiyan, but it was completely out of hand. His power was way too strong for him, And if he even tried to access it, he would go berserk and probably destroy the world. As the only one who was able to actually stop him was Vegeta, and Vegeta had to access Super Saiyan just to go up against Goku. And even then he wasn't strong enough. He needed help from Gohan and Piccolo and the rest of the Z Fighters, including the Supreme Kai, just to stop Goku. As everyone went all out to stop Goku, and they managed to do so. So yeah, Goku's only gonna be using not his full power, because if he did, he'd most likely destroy the world, like I said before. But anyways, we continue. As Vegeta goes up against Android 19, disassembling my boy, and putting some disrespect, just disrespecting Android 19, and Yamcha found himself getting punched by Jiro, but this time he wouldn't get a hole blown through his chest, he'd just get winded, as Krillin and Tien, Piccolo would help out, and they would have some insane combo moves which would take Jiro by surprise. And Gohan would join in and decide to join the fray, but everyone's energy was getting sucked away. It was because of Jiro's arms. So Gohan, taking the initiative, took out his arms and basically made him useless, which meant Goku came in and took the fight, basically Kai blasting, whatever you want to say, basically blast him into oblivion. And yeah, those two androids were absolutely deleted. So Jiro never had time to activate the other androids. But they forgot to look for their lab though. As Trunks did show up and ask them how the fight went, as Vegeta and the rest of them would say, that fight was too easy, and you say they were difficult. I'm ashamed that you say you're a Saiyan. I can't believe you lost to a bunch of weaklings. As Trunks asked for the description of what those androids look like, then Trunks would say that those androids are different. That his androids were twins. One was black hair, one with blonde hair, one male, one female, and they were overpowering them. Even with Vegeta's Super Saiyan, they lost. Basically every Z fighter was killed, cities were destroyed. They couldn't do anything about it. As Vegeta would raise an eyebrow, say, "Kill me, haha, don't make me laugh, boy. They don't stand a chance against me." But Trunks would take this seriously, saying, "No, father." Or I think father. He would just say, "No, Vegeta," or something like that. He would just say something. And he would say that it was a bad idea not to double check because something could go terribly wrong. And something did go terribly wrong later on. As they did forget to double check, but yeah, they actually did try to check for the laboratory around the area, but they weren't able to do so since it was well hidden. So they just let it slide for now and let Trunks stay and train with Vegeta, as Goku would decide to train Gohan a lot longer, as actual Chi-Chi and Vegeta hooked it up pretty well, as both of them started to have their relationship, and they did have a kid. They called this kid Goten. Let's just say that. They called that kid Goten. And, yeah, they called the kid Goten. He would have somewhat of a different look. I'd give him a similar hairstyle that he had in canon, but a little different. He would have Super Saiyan hair, but it wasn't blonde. It was just straight up, similar to Vegeta, but yeah, that's basically the only difference. But anyways, we continue. As, well, this all happens, they're having somewhat of a peacetime until an android broke out, that being Cell. That android basically found himself out, broke himself free, found some androids that were still unawakened, awakened them, and swallowed them whole, just using his tail to suck them up, and became stronger using his super perfect cell, or becoming semi-perfect cell, and then perfect cell, as an explosion of power just arrives, as everyone in the tower, or yeah, Kami's tower, who is training, felt this surge of energy as Goku and Gohan were training. They weren't able to sense it, but the rest of the Z Fighters were. So the rest of them headed out to search for this insane being, and boom, there it was. It was Cell. As Trunks and Vegeta tried to handle them first, going in their Super Saiyan Grade 2. And that power was pretty strong, but to Cell, it was nothing. Cell had Goku's abilities, and did not have Frieza's abilities. He actually had only Saiyans. Yeah, he actually only had Saiyans. Saiyans. He actually only had Saiyans as a source of power and strength. The only evil thing he had was most likely King Piccolo. The Demon King Piccolo. That was the only one he probably had. And yeah, that's the only thing he actually had. So they could most likely appeal to Cell with strength, but the only person who could most likely do that is Goku. But anyways, we continue. As Goku just continues his training with Gohan and leaves the hyperbolic time chamber, with Gohan accessing Super Saiyan, and Gohan accessing Super Saiyan and going even further beyond to Grade 4 Super Saiyan. But Goku, on the other hand, was still trying to get a hang of Super Saiyan, and he manages to do so, going Super Saiyan, as he told Gohan to hide because, if he manages to lose control, then he has to escape, leaving Goku there. But Goku somehow controls it and becomes fully conscious while using Super Saiyan. But it's still pretty difficult if he combines Ikari with it. But we continue. As Goku now heads out to fight Cell, as he did in canon. As Vegeta, on the other hand, got his butt whooped. He was lying on the floor unconscious, so was Trunks and the rest of the Z Fighters, as Cell laughed over their bodies, saying, "Haha, how foolish of them to think they can take me on. How foolish." As Goku and Gohan basically arrive, seeing their friends, they're disinfuriated Goku, but he calmed himself, as he knew this fight was going to be long and hard, so he had to maintain his calmness. But that didn't stay for long, as Gohan decided he wanted to fight Cell first. As he did do so, Gohan has insane potential like he did in canon, and did show Super Saiyan 2, which was extremely powerful, but that was not enough. As Gohan and Super Saiyan Grade 4 tried to stop Cell with his power, which was insanely strong, but it wasn't strong enough. Cell would literally body slam Gohan, and giving him that same hold that would crush Gohan's insides. And right now, Goku's fatherly instincts kicked in. Goku's eyes went red, as he had that same rage moment Gohan had, as Goku would yell in absolute anger. His roar would reach the heavens, as his hair would transform, as he would accidentally combine Ikari with Super Saiyan, becoming stronger, as his power would explode. It would shake the earth, changing the weather as well, making waves rise like tsunamis, which would cause disaster all over the earth. As Cell would chuckle, saying, "So, Goku," as he clenches his fist, saying, "Give me an entertaining fight, will ya?" As he clenches his fists and basically transforms. Since Cell has Saiyan genetics, he also has Super Saiyan. So he goes into Super Saiyan. Not just any Super Saiyan. Yeah, he just goes to Super Saiyan just like Goku did. But he also has this Ikari form, which he combines with a Super Saiyan. And usually I would make them Super Saiyan 4, but that would be too overpowered way too quickly. So no, that's a no-go. For now. But Cell and Goku would start to clash, as Cell would grow insane muscles while in this form, and so would Goku. As they would fight, their power would clash, as their fist would hit The impact of their fist would cause a shockwave that would break up the ground, as they'd have a volley of attacks thrown at each other, as their grace in their battle diminished, as only anger was growing, as Cell was shocked to see the power he had gained using this. His anger was growing, so was Goku's. So they're pretty much even, but the only uneven thing is, Cell has infinite energy and basically has no stamina drain, while Goku's stamina is getting eaten up bit by bit. And soon enough, Cell overpowered Goku, smacking him to the floor, and this would make this a whole lot harder. As now, Goku would go all in trying to stop him, or trying to stop Cell, but he was getting beaten and bruised. And he would automatically leave Super Saiyan as a Super Saiyan state, since he would have no more stamina left. As Gohan would see his father get struck down again and again, and this would basically make him extremely angry. And this would be the event that would allow Gohan to access higher power, this being Super Saiyan 2, which would be an incredible power. As Gohan stood there with this insane, sick-looking haircut and just looks at Cell, giving him that death stare, and starts fighting Cell. And Gohan was holding his own against Cell, even pushing him back somewhat. But Cell, he began overpowering Gohan bit by bit, until they had the Kamehameha clash once again. But that really wouldn't do anything, since Cell's Kamehameha blast was much more powerful than Gohan's, which would ultimately look like Gohan was getting incinerated. But yeah, it would look like Gohan got incinerated. This would be the catalyst for Goku, as he watched his son look like he was getting incinerated. But he was completely wrong. So yeah, like I was saying, Goku watched his son look like he got incinerated, as his son looked like he was incinerated, getting blasted by a full power Kamehameha. Goku went completely blank, as a burst of green energy, just a burst of green light came from the ground, as Goku stood up flying like how Broly did it in the movie, as Goku was in Super Saiyan and Ikari once more, but this time his hair was different. His hair was green, as his muscles were much more defined, much more bulky. He was more massiver than he was before. He was massive. My boy grew 10 feet. He was so tall and built, and Cell was intimidated by Goku. But he knew what Goku could do, he could do even better. So he did the same thing. He tried to do the same thing, since he has the same genetics as Goku has. And he was able to do what Goku did before, but he isn't able to take out the part that Goku's DNA had. Goku was born with the power of legendary Super Saiyan, while you can't just copy it just like that. You can't just copy it like that. But Cell was able to replicate Super Saiyan, since most of his genetics was Super Saiyan. And he was able to do that, but with this form, he was unable to even copy it. One was unable to. So Goku would give him a mouth blast, which would incinerate Cell's top half immediately, as Cell would regenerate and fight Goku over and over, as they'd have this fight again and again, as Goku was getting tired of this, as he just continued to beat Cell. Cell, who was regenerating after each punch, would still get absolutely body slammed. And finally, Cell, after a long while of fighting, Goku would finally fully get rid of him. And yeah, it didn't look like Cell was coming back, but he did. He came back stronger. It was like a Zenkai boost. He used it. He came back with his super perfect Cell form, his super perfect Cell, And him being with the Ikari form made him extremely strong. But Goku, on the other hand, who was still in his legendary Super Saiyan form, didn't really care how much power Cell had now or then, because he still body slammed him. Even with Cell's new improvements of power, it was not enough to put a hold to Goku. Goku punched holes straight through Cell, and Cell was body slammed and put on a T-shirt, just like how let's see here, just like Frieza, and just like not Vegeta, but somebody else. He body slammed Raditz. That's right, just like Raditz. He put Raditz on a T-shirt, and so he did the same thing to Cell. But Gohan, on the other hand, was not actually dead. He was taken by the Supreme Kai in the nick of time, which used the Kai technique to teleport in and out, saving Gohan from imminent death, which was about to happen. As Goku was about to rampage, Gohan showed up, just in time, as Goku's rage would slowly but surely diminish, as seeing his son somewhat helped him. But rage still clouded him, as even the most sudden movements could trigger his rage again. But Gohan gave him like a father-son bonding moment for them. Basically, they had some type of moment as Gohan hugged Goku, as they had their father-son moment, which kind of slowed Goku's anger down minimally, making Goku go back to his normal size and lose the green hair color, going back to black. As that's how it went, and we move from this. As that match or that fight expelled some insane energy, so this would be the perfect time to tell about the Buu Saga. And it wasn't a time skip either. No time skip, as Bobbity was joyous as his time or plan was gonna go perfectly. That power that was getting sent from that fight with Cell was too good, as energy from that fight helped actually revive Buu fully, as Buu was already completely revived. They didn't need to wait for no Tenkaichi Budokai to even happen for this fight. They didn't need the Tenkaichi Budokai to gather energy from Gohan. They didn't need any of that, since Goku and Cell's power levels or power was good enough to all the way power up Buu, as Buu was revived and started to bully everybody, started to take them all out and have fun. Basically, he had the same thing he did in canon. So Buu did exactly what he did in canon and starts terrorizing Earth while everyone else was still not fully recovered. So they basically ate some Senzu beans and headed back out to Buu to try to fight Buu. But when they did try to fight Buu, they noticed Buu was pretty much indestructible unless they fully get rid of him with one singular attack. And at this current moment, that did not seem pretty possible because of Broly's, not Broly, my bad. I do apologize for all the stuttering, but because of Boo's insane durability and regeneration factor, so they weren't able to really do that. So they did take some time to plan things out, and then tried to fight him again, but it still didn't work, because Buu ended up splitting up into a good Buu, or somewhat good Buu, and to bad Buu, or evil Buu. And evil Buu won, controlling the other Buu, taking him in, creating Super Buu, which kind of bodied most of them. And since this wasn't a time skip, everyone still had their power. So everyone was getting bodied except Goku and Gohan. But Vegeta and Trunks were way far behind, since none of them had the ability to go beyond Super Saiyan, even beyond grade 3 or 2, since they're still in progress. But after that little fight with Cell, they had a power boost, which helped them grow stronger, but that wasn't enough to fight Super Buu immediately wiped them out, as Gohan had to go into his Super Saiyan 2 form yet again as Goku had to go Super Saiyan and fight Super Blue. With this combo, they were able to take him out pretty easily. Take out Boo pretty easily, but before they could take him out, Boo managed to take a few people. Like, he absorbed Vegeta and Trunks within himself, even though that was not the best idea. He was able to do so, and he's a lot weaker than Buhan by a long shot, since Buhan had Mystic, or Ultimate, his ultimate form. None of these guys are even close to that, so even absorbing them didn't make much of a difference. So they tried to see if they can help break everyone out of there, but it was too late, as he flew away extremely fast as they chased him down, but nothing really worked. But, Goku decided to ask Supreme Kai for help, since this is a pretty problematic problem they have. Their friends have been taken in by Boo, and Boo has all of their abilities, but Boo isn't that strong. But if they eradicate Boo, they might kill everyone who is within Boo himself. So yeah, I do apologize if you can hear some background noises. I do apologize for that. But we continue. As well, since they're somewhat in a bit of a pickle here, they decided to use an insane forbidden technique. It was a technique to remove evil from a person, like to completely extract evil, or just destroy evil with one attack. It was a pretty powerful attack, and it wasn't easily learned, but they managed to do so anyway. Learning to do this attack, only Goku could pull off, since he knows how to use Kai techniques, and Gohan doesn't. And Goku managed to learn this technique and face off against Boo again, and the fight wasn't easier, but Goku was still body slamming Boo, but Boo's regeneration and new abilities came in clutch and basically stomped them. And well, not really stomped, but came in clutch to save Boo a little bit, but it didn't really help, since Goku would charge up this attack, and Boo thought this was just a normal attack, so like a normal ki blast, so he thought he would take it. But as he was about to take it, he was feeling weird as his body began burning up. As he began saying, no, 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 no. As he was about to back out, he was already touched or blasted by this attack. And Boo was basically incinerated. All of evil Boo was kicked out, and leaving only the other Boo, not Gohan, but Vegeta and Trunks. Only leaving them behind. As that's how this Boo arc, this saga went down. I know it's a bit quick, but it would have been perfect for Babidi if you think about it. Since Goku had a fight with Cell on a large scale, it was a perfect time to do so. But anyways, even with that happening, they managed to basically defeat everyone there with some minor casualties. But it is what it is. But we move on. As we move to the God arc, Beerus had finally awoken from his insane slumber, and he has dreamt about a Saiyan God in his dreams. And Whis told him about the Saiyan, interesting Saiyans, and extremely particular Saiyan that was able to beat Frieza, Majin Buu, and all that, and that Saiyan was known as Goku. Beerus learning about Goku was not really interested, but when he heard of Goku's power and how rare it was, he thought it could be the Saiyan God and decided to check him out. As Goku was with Bulma, since they had their Bulma's birthday party, and Goku was there, enjoying his fun time with his friends and family. But Beerus had to show up on the ship, and Vegeta was very, very scared when he saw him, since he knew this guy was powerful. So he stood his ground, but Goku, you know, is a very naive and friendly guy, so would try to introduce himself and have some small talk with Beerus, as Beerus would do the same thing, and so would Whis, as, Vegeta was trembling in his boots, but decided to tell Whis to have some good food and eat some grub, as so did Beerus. So they decided to eat, and Boo, still being selfish, ate all the pudding, made Beerus angry, and wanted to destroy Earth. But Goku was there and tried to stop him, and had a fight with Beerus. And Goku was putting up a good fight using his Super Saiyan form and Ikari form combined, but wasn't good enough. So Beerus swatted him away like he was nothing. But Goku would get a little enraged by this, since Beerus was kind of smacking Goku around, and during fights, Goku gets angry for some reason. His anger just boils when he's in a fight. So Goku began getting angrier and angrier as he saw he was not doing anything. He tried using his Kai techniques, which surprised Beerus a little bit, but they didn't really work. As Goku got even angrier during the fight, Beerus decided to take it out on somebody, as they were having a fight. Bulma told them to stop this fight since they were being rude, and this was somewhat near the boat, and Bulma managed to land a slap on Beerus, and when Goku saw this, he was frozen as Beerus smacked the hell out of Bulma, knocking her unconscious, as Goku would use this as another catalyst to activate his power, going into legendary Super Saiyan yet again, as Beerus would feel his power and was intrigued, and as he smiled, saying, this power feels strong. Let me test out your abilities, boy." As he started fighting, Goku's abilities or power began growing in the fight, and Beerus began to somewhat get overwhelmed a little bit, used more of his power, and still overwhelmed Goku, and yet body slammed him. And he was okay with this fight, since he was able to go somewhat all out today. Even without the Super Saiyan God, he allowed them to come with him for training on their planet. As Goku was still angry, but he wanted to train, so he trains with Whis, as he was able to become one of Whis' students thanks to Beerus' permission. So, Vegeta was there as well and decided to tag along so he can catch up to Goku. But anyways, we continue. They began their training as a god. Not only as a god, but they began their training to learn how to use God Ki, and at first it was very difficult, but they somehow managed to get it, and Goku was the first to access it, being calm-minded, which was completely opposite to what his power was, but he managed to do it, accessing Super Saiyan God, as he felt its power was way more different than being enraged, as he felt different. As he started using his techniques, he wasn't growing muscle, he was a little more slim, and was more, speedy. He was more fast. In this form, Goku was superior. Since his power wasn't able to be sensed, Vegeta tried to, attack him, but it did nothing. And Vegeta felt left behind again because Goku appeared to be in the level of a god now, since Goku using Super Saiyan God. So now Vegeta did his best and accessed Super Saiyan God himself and went further and began more training. As everyone else did the same thing, began training and having their life as they usually did, as Gohan does join them every now and then. And about Trunks, he went back to his timeline and he's not coming back for a little while. But yeah, they basically had their fun, and it was that. Gohan would join them at some times, learning some things about God Ki, and decided to use those things in Earth instead of training super far away. So yeah, he just trained in Earth. I'm gonna use a quick water break. So as I was saying, Goku became a student just like Vegeta, and they both achieved God forms, and Gohan visits them to train every now and then, incorporating what Whis tells him into his own training regimen, so he can somewhat access God Ki, which would give him a pretty big advantage. Since he does not have, well, what you would call it, the mystic or ultimate form, like he did in canon, but there's one difference. Gohan is stronger than he was before in canon because of Goku, because he's constantly training, and influences Gohan to train, but is also influenced by his mother to also keep up with his studies. So he's still strong, probably stronger than he was before, but he's still unable to keep up with everyone else, like Vegeta and Goku, because they have constant free time to train, and they don't really have to do jobs just like him or do any studies. But anyways, we continue with this as they continue growing stronger and stronger. The Frieza revival arc, would it really happen? Yes, I think it most definitely will happen. Frieza does end up getting revived, just like it did in canon, and ends up growing stronger, and decides to do an extra month's training, like a couple more months of training, like let's say 6 months of training. 6 months of training, in my opinion, would have gotten him a lot stronger. Most definitely, or in my opinion, most likely the power level he was in the Tournament of Power, because of the extra 2 months of training and Frieza's insane potential he has. So yeah, he's able to grow that quickly and attained his golden form earlier than he would in canon, but he still wouldn't have much control over it, unlike the one in canon in the Tournament of Power. But it doesn't really matter. We move from this as it starts, the Resurrection F arc starts like it normally does, and Goku and Vegeta were constantly training, and Gohan and the rest of the Z fighters were the last remainder of defense, fighting off Frieza's men. It was pretty easy, and then Frieza's punching bag decides to show up and tries to start to pick a fight with Gohan. Tries to pick a fight with Gohan, but Gohan instantly goes Super Saiyan 2, body slams his kid, and it ends pretty quickly. But you have Frieza decides to end up fighting Gohan and fights him in his base while Gohan's in Super Saiyan 2, which kind of makes it a little difficult for Gohan. Not really, because Gohan still body slams Frieza, even if Frieza doesn't transform, but Frieza goes into his final form, able to keep up with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which is a lot stronger than normal. So he continues fighting, but Frieza tells him that they should go all out, as Gohan doesn't really want to do this because, Frieza is able to keep up with him in Super Saiyan 2 with his normal form, technically his base form. He's gonna be in big trouble. But he allows this anyway, since he has his own trick up his sleeve. As Frieza allows Gohan to transform first, as Gohan obtains a fiery red aura as he basically transforms into Super Saiyan God, as Frieza would chuckle saying, "Ho ho ho, so this is the godly divine power you possess now, huh?" As Frieza grins, saying how useless it is to my power. As Frieza does his pose when he transforms into a golden Frieza, as a bright light comes off of Frieza as he turns into golden Frieza, as his energy was way higher than Gohan's, way more powerful than Gohan's, as Gohan widens his eyes in such shock of his power. His power was nothing compared to Frieza, but he knew he had to go all out from the very beginning. So he decides to fight Frieza head on, and it didn't go so well. Gohan was getting body slammed. Even with Gohan's new moves, techniques, it didn't go so well. Even with the power-up Gohan had, Frieza's insane power and just brute strength was able to pummel Gohan to the ground. But Goku ended up showing up because of their large power level and stopped Frieza from killing Gohan, which just stopped him from landing a final blow, as Vegeta showed up as well next to Goku. As Goku was furious, looking at Frieza with death stare, as he wants to go first. But Vegeta puts his hand out, saying, "Don't worry, Kakarot, he's mine." As Vegeta says, "Leave the rest to me," as he goes instantly into Super Saiyan Blue. As he stares Frieza down, as Frieza looks at him, amused, saying, "Oh, what do we have here? What do you call this monkey? Super Saiyan, blue hair form? What you call it?" As Vegeta looks at him, saying, "This is beyond the power this boy showed you. This is Super Saiyan God's Super Saiyan. In other words, Super Saiyan Blue. Now have a taste of my power." As Vegeta starts throwing hands with Frieza, Frieza still body slams him. Doesn't body slam him, but still has the advantage. I mean, Vegeta does some pretty good damage, but ends up, dropping his guard, which ends up being fatal since some rando shot him in the back with a laser ring, putting Vegeta on the ground, and Vegeta was like on the floor coughing out a little bit of blood, saying, "Cheap shot." As you know, his stamina was already completely run out during that fight, and now he's just been shot. So now Goku steps in, and Goku just goes all in. He just doesn't even use blue. He goes into his legendary Super Saiyan state and basically slams Frieza. Since he's obtained new power and is already kind of his Super Saiyan God blends in with Goku like he did in canon, he basically absorbs the God energy and placed it within Super Saiyan, and was still able to keep up with Beerus somewhat. That has been also put into his normal forms like Super Saiyan Ikari, or you may call it Wrathful, or Legendary Super Saiyan. So yeah, he basically is already a Saiyan God, but with this much power in the Legendary Super Saiyan, he absolutely body slams Frieza, and it's not even a joke. Frieza gets pummeled, like Goku throws barrages of kicks and punches, which were a little bit more graceful but still wild, and it kind of knocked Frieza unconscious. As now Resurrection F was kind of put to a hold, as Frieza ended up getting smoked and ended up getting mouth blasted by Goku into oblivion, as Frieza ended up getting smoked by Goku twice. As now we move from this, as they started training a little bit more until an unexpected visitor known as Champa, the god of destruction of Universe 6, shows up and proposes a tournament. And to be honest, I'm not even gonna mention this tournament. This tournament was an easy wash for Goku's team, or Universe 7 at least. Universe 7 smoked the other team. There was no chance. The only person who stood a chance was Hit. And Vegeta got knocked out. Gohan got knocked out since he was in there. Gohan and all of them got knocked out because Hit's time skip was too strong. But Vegeta put up a pretty good fight, lowering Hit down a little bit. But Goku put in the final blow. He didn't even go Super Saiyan Blue or God or anything like that. He just went using his legendary Super Saiyan, was able to force his way through Hit's time skip and break it. Just goes straight through his time skip and starts pummeling Hit, and defeats Hit pretty easily. Even with his time skip, Goku's durability and stamina has improved, so he's able to withstand more hits. He was already able to do that, but he's able to take on more damage, so he's technically somewhat of a Jiren right now. His attack power, defensive capabilities are a lot stronger. But we move from this, as Zeno also did the same thing he did in canon, introduced himself, and basically wanted another tournament like this, and Goku would say the exact same lines he said in canon. Nothing would literally change. But on the other hand, an evil god or supreme Kai in training or a Kai in training got furious that a Saiyan mortal had that power. A mortal was able to use godly abilities. Since Goku didn't really show godly abilities, he only showed that legendary Super Saiyan form, he was still angry. Angry at the fact that he was able to use power like that. But he didn't sense it was godly, since he could still sense his strength. But Vegeta and Gohan's, on the other hand, they were using godly techniques. So he decided to go for the weaker one. The stronger one. He decided to go for Vegeta. He disregarded Goku's one, since, technically Vegeta did all the work. Well, that's what he thought at least, and he was kind of naive. He was blinded by his, superiority complex, really, and decided to choose a weaker vessel that he was going to be in, that being Vegeta. And, this was a bad idea for him. Since he terrorized someone in another universe, he terrorized Trunks' universe, the one with a proper timeline. He actually took Vegeta's body and was known as Vegeta Black and starts pummeling everyone in that universe on sight, and he became another menace. So Trunks had to use the time machine and basically flee before he got smoked by his own dad, and he came back to that universe and ends up, trying to punch Vegeta, but Bulma or Chi-Chi ends up stepping in and smacks him in the head, telling him what's wrong with him. That's your father or something. Yeah, he's your father. Since technically they're somewhat mother, and Goku's somewhat his dad too, but Vegeta's also his dad. It's kind of a weird relationship at this point, but hey, move on. So yeah, Trunks got some sense smacked onto him, and Vegeta and Trunks had some conversation, so did Goku, and yeah, they had a little talk, and all of a sudden a black portal came out, and there comes Vegeta Black. As Vegeta looked infuriated as he fought his copy or doppelganger, and starts fighting him. As the doppelganger was pretty strong, but Vegeta starts pummeling him as he enters Super Saiyan 2, and the pain Vegeta Black felt just made him more powerful. So Vegeta was going to end it and excuse me, I do apologize for stuttering, but he was trying to end it as quickly as possible, and decides to stop playing around and goes blue and tries to end it with a Big Bang attack. But before the attack would land, Vegeta Black would use his own Big Bang attack to blast at the time machine so he wouldn't come back, and was sucked away back into the portal where he came from before Vegeta could finish his attack. So he basically attacked nothing, and his attack just hit nothing. As Vegeta was infuriated, as he would yell, "No! Damn it, I let him escape." But anyways, we continue. As they had some more fights, like Goku versus Trunks and Vegeta versus Trunks. They had that, and yeah, most of that goes extremely to canon. Most of it goes to canon, at least. But anyways, we move on. As now, they had to repair the time machine, as they did so, and Trunks had some more training to improve his Super Saiyan 2 form, since he wasn't able to go beyond that. But he improves it, and now he has to deal with his father again, with another battle or spar training, and then they had to go back to Trunks' timeline to stop this monster. They do end up going back and start fighting, as Vegeta would go head to head with himself, while Goku would go for Zamasu, which would show up, and Zamasu was pretty powerful. Wasn't as powerful as Goku, but had immortality, which kind of made him invincible. So Goku's attacks would hurt Zamasu extremely, but his regeneration capabilities was way too powerful for him. So Goku would just keep pummeling Zamasu, and Zamasu would just keep regenerating and healing himself. So Goku would just keep him pinned to the floor, just punching him over and over. But Vegeta Black, on the other hand, would have an advantage over Vegeta, because he has Super Saiyan Rose, and Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue wasn't able to keep up. So Vegeta's starting to get folded like an omelet there, as Vegeta Black starts throwing some haymakers, some combos, which start to stun Vegeta, as Vegeta was getting put to the ground. So now Goku steps in, going into his Super Saiyan form, and somewhat keeps up, but is still getting pretty bodied by Vegeta Black. So Goku ends up going legendary Super Saiyan and actually exceeds his Rose form, which kind of frustrates him. So now they're in a bit of a fight here, but Zamasu joins in and helps Vegeta Black out with the situation, and somewhat pushes Goku back a little. But Goku was hit with an attack that he was hit with an attack, and it was by Zamasu, as Zamasu was teleporting around, using some insane Kai techniques he would have, and it kind of distracted Goku, sending him to the floor. Not really injuring him, but putting a little bit of damage onto him. As Trunks was standing by, watching this all happen, while Vegeta gets back up and starts to pick another fight, and then it still gets body slammed, and instead of Goku being pinned to the wall, getting stabbed, and getting that little pep talk that basically made him go crazy and start beating the hell out of both of them, that's what happened to Vegeta. Vegeta basically heard about what Zamasu did. Zamasu basically killed his wife, his children. Even though it wasn't him from that timeline, Vegeta still went crazy. Vegeta still went crazy, like crazy, as Vegeta's power and aura changed. As the color of his Super Saiyan Blue changed to a more darker version of itself, and Vegeta became more bulkier, and his hair spiked up even higher, as his hair was more spikier, more defined. As his eyes changed a little color too, and so did his hair, as now Vegeta accessed Super Saiyan Blue evolution and started to body slam not Goku Black, but Vegeta Black and Zamasu. So they had no other option but to fuse, as they watched as they fused, as Vegeta tried to stop them alone, but he ended up getting smoked. And Goku and Vegeta did their teamwork attacks, which were pretty powerful, but wasn't enough. So basically Vegeta took some damage, and Vegeta was brought to the ground. But Goku was still standing, and started to chuckle, saying, I didn't think I'd have to use this now. As Goku would access Super Saiyan Blue for the first time against his opponents, because he's never used it before since it was too powerful, as a green light starts to glow as his hair turns blue. As it was somewhat of a greenish blue, as Goku starts throwing haymakers at Zamasu, the fusion Zamasu, as Zamasu thought he could handle a singular punch, since it was immortal and there's no way it was going to damage him. But that one punch sent him flying through so many buildings. As he was completely mistaken, Goku's power in this form was above anything anyone's ever seen, and even above Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Vegeta knew if Goku ever entered this form, anyone who was fighting against would most likely get smoked. And that's exactly what's happening to Zamasu. Zamasu's getting a reality check, and Goku's legit throwing haymaker after haymaker, punches, kicks, and Zamasu's getting body slammed as he continuously coughs blood and saliva, since Goku's pummeling him everywhere. Goku just bullies this man. It wasn't even a competition anymore. It wasn't even the same fight as it was before. It wasn't even as serious. It is still as serious as it was before, since they destroyed their timeline, but now they're always trying to run. Zamasu is now just focused on running away because he tried to fight back using his godly techniques and everything, but it didn't work. Goku's too powerful. He just swipes it away like it was nothing, or flicks it away like it was a fly. Like one of Zamasu's weak ki blasts was flicked away by Goku, or like it was some sort of fly. This just freaked out Zamasu. He knew he couldn't win, but he still tried, and he even got that bigger purple arm that he had before, and they had a pretty cool little fight. But in the end, Goku body slammed Zamasu, so he's already stronger than the fusion, so he's somewhat comparable to Vegito Blue, which didn't really show up here. But anyways, we continue. As well, they had that insane fight that they did before, and wait, let me just stop there for a second. I'm confusing myself. Right, so Goku fights him and basically smokes him as Zamasu gets clapped, and Zamasu basically gets folded like an omelet, and Goku saves the day like he usually does, and they start to head back to their world. But they don't do that just yet, as Goku has a solution, and he decides to try use the Namekian Dragon Balls. But they weren't powerful enough to actually revive everyone that was killed, so since the Super Dragon Balls were destroyed, they couldn't really do anything about it, or about this thing, so yeah, they just had to leave it as it was. But they did use the Dragon Balls, the Namekian ones, try to wish a few people back to life, so they did wish that Earth came back to normal, and the people that were killed by but the people that were killed by Vegeta Black and Zamasu to be revived, and it was done so. But not all of them were revived since they didn't have enough power to do that, so they had to wait another year to use like all 3 wishes just to do that. But they did revive everyone in Universe 7, including Beerus and the Supreme Kai, and that was all the power the dragon had for now, so they had to wait like a year and a little bit to do another wish. So yeah, Goku went back to his timeline. Trunks never awakened Super Saiyan Rage, since Goku technically body slammed the whole thing, and yeah, he moved from this situation. As now, it was time for them to basically go into the Tournament of Power, since Goku ended up speeding up the process and caused the tournament to happen. As the tournament happened like it did before, it started. The tournament started like it usually would have, as Gohan would be the leader and tells them all to be in a group so they can stay together, but they all ended up splitting up in small groups so they can cover more area and take out as many universes as possible. As Goku would fight some randos he did before, ended up fighting Kale and Caulifla, as he smokes Caulifla. He doesn't even go Super Saiyan, he goes into his Ikari form, still body slamming her. Even with Kale's somewhat help, still gets slammed. But when Kale enters her Berserker form, Goku widens his eyes saying, "Another one," as he smiles as he goes into his own, not really Berserker form, but his legendary Super Saiyan form, and fights Kale. And since Kale doesn't have control or experience in this form yet, Goku easily wipes her out with a single punch, as Kale was saved by Caulifla, as Caulifla was trying to find Goku once again. But Goku goes back to his base form and looks for another strong opponent. And there it was, his other strong opponent he found was getting attacked by others, and that was Hit. Hit was getting attacked by many others. Even though Goku slams Hit, he still helped out like he did in canon. And then Jiren ends up showing up, and Goku and Jiren face off, as both two intimidating guys stare each other down. As Goku made the first move, charging up a Kamehameha, blasting it at Jiren. Jiren not even like moving a finger, just looks at the blast and it just gets parted, as like there was an invisible barrier in front of Jiren. As Goku goes up front, starts throwing punches, as Jiren would have to block one of these punches. As he felt the punch of Goku, he knew Goku was strong, so he took this seriously, throwing his own punches and kicks. And they had a little taijutsu bout there for a second, as they break the little fight. As then Goku enters his legendary Super Saiyan form, which was extremely powerful. Jiren, knowing that this was gonna be a tough battle, knows he has to go all out quickly, so he goes into his full power. Not really full power, but he charges up, nearing his full power, fighting Goku, and is pretty much able to keep up with him. But Goku still solos him and goes, he's still basically fighting Jiren off pretty easily, since his power is still growing within the battle. As his Saiyan blood boils, as within the battle his power continuously grows and grows. This power is more under control, but it's still growing as he fights. That's how his power kind of works. And on that note, Jiren has to amp up his own power, going full power, and still isn't managing to keep up, and starts getting bullied by Goku. And Jiren ends up having to access his hidden power way earlier on, which surprised everybody since Jiren's power was now twice as strong, or even 10 times as strong as it used to be. And Toppo was fighting Vegeta like he did in canon, had to go into his God of Destruction mode just to stop Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue evolution. While everyone else was having their same battles, Gohan did improve and become Super Saiyan Blue, so he did fight some other people, and he ended up fighting Kale and Caulifla, since he was technically the son of Goku. And Gohan ended up handling them, as Jiren was still in the fight in his hidden power form, and Goku just ends up going Super Saiyan Blue, and decides to combine it with Kaioken. He's never done this before, but now he does, combining with Kaioken, and smacks Jiren, sending him out the ring with a supercharged punch, sending him out the ring saying, "Dragon Fist!" Sending him out the ring, and most, if not all of Universe 11's fighters were knocked out right after. After a few fights, most of the Universe 11's fighters were knocked out, and mostly some other universes still remain, only a little bit left. And Universe 6's fighters like Kefla, since they fused against Gohan, ended up staying, and Gohan ended up getting knocked out of the ring because no one was there to help him, and even if Piccolo was there, Kefla's power was way more than enough to keep them both down, so Kefla knocked Gohan down, and so is Piccolo. But Goku ends up joining them in the fight again, and fights Kefla in a pretty cool fight, but it ends up going to Goku's favor, and smacks Kefla, sending her out the ring, and some weak universe manages to survive, but they were knocked out from some weakling who was still from a pretty weak universe, was still alive, not really alive, but was still there because he was hiding, but they managed to find him and knock him out the ring, making Universe 7 the winners, and they decide to basically have the same wish they had in canon, and revive all the other universes that were destroyed. As of their team, it's basically the same exact team, with Frieza as well, but since they were missing androids 17 and 18, two fighters, they allowed Goten and Trunks to join, since they were a lot stronger, and they were trained by their fathers they were trained by their fathers, so they did have some strength. And they were only able to go Super Saiyan 2 for now, but since they know how to fuse, they can do that and become an even stronger fighter that has Super Saiyan 3 and is pretty strong. But they didn't really have to, since they were only fighting some weak opponents, and they were with some smarter people like Krillin and all them, Master Roshi. Even though they were weak, they were smart fighters, so they were with them. But anyways, that's it. They managed to win and wish all the other universes back. And after that, they have some sort of peacetime back on Earth. And Goku and Vegeta continue training to become the strongest. And more enemies start to show up in the future. But as of now, they had peacetime. But that's all for now. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. And I will be posting another video maybe tomorrow, since this video is quite long. But without further ado, I'll see you all in the next What If scenario. Peace.